Hey, welcome back everybody. So today we're going to do a quick how-to on one of the easiest brake jobs you can do. It's actually, and a lot of people's going to know exactly when I say this, but rear brakes on a 7 to 13 Chevy truck equipped with disc brakes. Super easy. So let's get into this. Tools we're going to need is a 13 millimeter, a 18 millimeter, a little brake separator, and an old pad. That's really all we're going to need. Now, I don't have to change the pads on this. The reason I'm actually doing this job is simply because the caliper pins are stuck in the caliper bracket, so I'm going to go ahead and replace that, and I'll show you how I do that real quick, and now you know. So let's get into it. Alright, so I'll move the camera over here to where we can get a good angle on this. Let's see. Tilt it down a little bit. Alright, so easiest thing I like to do is I just go in here and I get the 13 mil brake bolts loose on the caliper itself, top and bottom. I'll go ahead and spin these out. I like to spin the bottom one out first because it's so easy to get to. Now on the new set, like I said, I'm going to be going back with new caliper bracket and pins and everything that's associated with it. Well, some of the stuff we've done on the channel in the old truck. Alright, there's one. Here is number 2. Spin that out. And it's froze a little bit, but it should just lift right off. Now, take your 18 millimeter. There's 2 18 millimeter bolts back here, and most of the time these are pretty tight. Oh, all right. There's one. Let's get the other one broke loose here. Oh man. Pretty tight. And unfortunately, can't hardly get impact to these because there's just not enough room. But once you get them loose, it's not very hard to take it off. So go ahead and spin the bottom one out. A little more. Can't get it with my fingers yet. One. And the reason these probably come out is once before when I did this, I actually put Loctite, or I'm sorry, Loctite brand anti-seize on it. So, here's your caliper bracket. Now, if you notice, like I said, this one moves, and this one, it is stuck super tight, so it will not do anything. All right, pads, we just take them off, get them out of the way, and now it's just a matter of cleanup. All right, so I've got the new caliper bracket. Now, if you notice, it did not come with the seals. Now, what I do here is I've got new seals that goes back in this. Something I like to do is go ahead and get a little bit of it's actually synthetic brake lube. It's ultra lube, and I'll put a little bit down in the hole just in order to get everything good and lubricated when I put it back together. Now the seals, like I said, they're super easy to put in. Sometimes you just get them started right here. Take an 18 millimeter socket or something of that nature. Set it on top of it, and literally, I'll show the camera here. Let me move it. I'll show you what I'm getting ready to do. Alright. So you just take your caliper pin. Like I said, I squirted some of the ultra lube in this here, and that is the synthetic brake lube. Just put a socket on top of this, and it doesn't take a lot of force to seat this. Like I said, it's already started, so we can just keep on until we drive it down in here. These are the seals for the caliper pins. That's the way these were made. A lot of people are probably cringing right now because I'm using a ratchet to do this, but that's it. Hammer, ratchet, whatever you got in your hand, not a big deal. And see there, as long as it's flush all the way around, it's good. Now we'll do the same thing to the other one. Hold my fingers on it, try to get it started good and straight, and then I'll just brace myself on the bracket itself. And like I said, it does not take a lot of force to pop these in there. That's almost seated. Now, alright, so now you can see that is seated right there. Alright, now, something I like to go ahead and do is I like to go ahead and get my new sliders here. I will snap them in. And we'll snap one in right here in the top. Make sure they're good and seated. Alright, I will take my new pads. Now remember, this is going to go on like this, so the pads are going to sit in here like this. So get your pad started on one end. Pad there. Trying to put that in backwards. And pad right here. Now it's ready for assembly on the truck. Alright. Alright, now we'll go ahead and take the top bolt and get it started here. Like I say, no big deal. Get it started. And then we'll reach over here and get the bottom bolt. We'll get it started in the bracket. Go ahead and push this over flush. And the reason I took the outside pad off here is simply because I wanted you guys to be able to see what I'm doing, and it was obstructing the view a little bit. Take your 18mm socket and go ahead and start tightening them up. And like I said, I put some fresh anti-seize back on these when I put them back together too. Kind of make my life easier the next time I have to do this. And I try to keep anti-seize on all this stuff and brake lubricant to where it functions the way it's supposed to. Alright, now I've got new caliper pins, and pretty easy on these. They come with new bolts as well. Take one of these and slide it in here. Make sure it moves around the brake lube a little bit on the pin lube. Alright, and we'll go ahead and get the seal started on that. Now we're ready for the last two bolts. So we'll go into the caliper, but first let's take an old pad and go ahead and open this up a little bit. The way I do that, I'll set this on here and I will spin it down. This is hard to do one-handed, folks. But I'll spin it down until it slides in here like this, and then I'll just start tightening it up. and if you can watch, it will start compressing the piston to make a little bit more room. And you'll need to do this when you're putting new pads on, especially because they are a little bit thicker. Mine do have a little bit of wear in them, but again, I like to try to be thorough when I show you guys how to do this stuff. Like I said, this is a super easy brake job. They also make a kind that is hydraulic. I have a set of those, but these are like 12 bucks at O'Reilly's, so I wanted to show you that you don't have to spend a lot of money on special tools and stuff when you go to do this. All right, let me just spin that out, throw that away, and put the old pad back on it. It's still in good shape. Slide it together, and go ahead and get some bolts started. Already got the top started. Now we're just gonna get the bottom started. And we tighten it down. All right, and there we have it, folks. Quick Chevy brake install in the rear. Thanks for watching.